Let me walk you through to a beautiful incident that happened in Mark chapter 5, verses 21 to 40, where two people meet Jesus because they were desperate for a miracle. So now Jesus is walking into a town, and there's a large crowd that's always with Jesus who come to watch him. Some come to receive a miracle from him, because some come to get a word from him. And in the midst of all that, there is suddenly a man who comes and falls at the feet of Jesus. His name is Jairus, and he's a synagogue leader. He's a leader, But he falls at the feet of Jesus desperately because he needs something. And he asks Jesus, my 12-year-old daughter is on the verge of death. He says, if you come and lay your hands on her head, she will be healed. So Jesus looks at this man. He is a synagogue leader, and Jesus feels compassionate towards this guy, and he tells him, I will come to your place. And now the situation is very serious, and Jesus is walking to the house of Jairus, and the whole crowd is following Jesus. And they're going, and Jairus is kind of happy that I called Jesus and he's coming. My daughter will be fine. She'll be healed. So he's moving with Jesus with the hope that his daughter will be well. Suddenly the whole thing stops. And Jesus is asking, who touched me? So Peter is saying, Lord, everybody is touching you. Everybody is nudging you. It's a large crowd that is following you. What are you saying? Who touched you? Are you joking? But Jesus says, this touch is different. He says, I can see power leaving from me. So they search all over the place, and they asked him, and they've been trying to find out who touched him. In the midst of all that, there's one man who's standing there and is thinking about his daughter. He says, my daughter, I called Jesus and he came with me. Now there's a delay that's happening, and he's looking at what's happening there, but his thought is about his daughter. He's standing there with mixed feelings. He's standing there thinking about his daughter, and suddenly there's a lady who just comes out of that crowd, and she says, I was the one who touched you, Lord. And she narrates her story. And maybe Jesus knows the story, but she tells the story. Jesus lets her tell the story because he wants everybody to know what happened to her life. And she tells the story, and you know what, that lady is 12 years, she's been suffering with an issue, with a sickness, and she spent all her money and